Hey everyone! So in this video I wanted to talk about something that I am continuously learning about and something that was so important to my recovery. And I've talked about it probably a fair bit before. It's something that I really think is so important to reiterate. And that's how we relate to and experience our feelings and emotions. This is something that I didn't really know how to do when I was going through my recovery and when I had my eating disorder. I think at the time I saw my feelings and emotions as obstacles that I had to try and navigate around or under or over, or I had to try and do something with them to fix them or to avoid them or to distract myself from them. And I really saw them as a problem. And when I'm kind of talking about my feelings and the ones that I saw as a problem, these were particularly the ones like worry or stress or anger or anxiety and those kind of ones. Although having said that, it's like actually more of some of like the more what we kind of traditionally classify as, positive feelings. Even those, I'm kind of just realizing now that even those I sometimes had a bit of an issue with because I don't know, I had all sorts of stories about, oh, but I don't deserve to feel happy, or I don't deserve to feel, you know, joy or whatever it might be. So so kind of all of these feelings, in some way they kind of seemed to be an issue, or I didn't necessarily want to feel them. I didn't know how to feel them. And and so the eating disorder was a way of kind of distracting myself from that. And this isn't something that I kind of consciously chose, but it's something that I certainly see now. That it's like if I felt overwhelmed or anxious or worried, then it's like the eating disorder provided, or at least seemed to provide, a way of distracting myself from that and almost like relieving the discomfort that I felt from those feelings, because again I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know how to feel them. So what I really see so clearly now, and again this is a real turning point in my recovery, I saw that we don't need to fix our feelings. We don't need to avoid them. We don't need to, turn to an eating disorder, again, unconsciously, to kind of feel better. And I kind of do it like that because it it never made me actually feel better. But I think because I just was so in the dark about what to actually do with my feelings, that it almost, if it kind of took me away from that, then maybe that seemed better at the time. But now when I see that all feelings are safe to feel, whatever they might be, that has been such a relief, because it's like this is saving me so much stress trying to avoid these feelings or run away from them or fix them, that actually I now know that whatever it might be, whatever feeling is showing up, I can feel that and be okay. And actually I don't need to do anything with that feeling other than let it do its thing, because feelings are energy. They pass through us. That's just what they do, unless we try and push them away, or unless we even do the opposite and really cling on to them, then actually they tend to stick around a lot longer. And I think what we also do a lot, and certainly something that I used to do, was really identify with those feelings, like rather than seeing them as energy flowing through me, which is a totally human thing to happen. Like, that happens to every single one of us. So rather than seeing it like that, I saw it as that they were saying something about me. And then so I would then like internalize that. It's like if I experienced anxiety, it would then become I am an anxious person, or I have anxiety, or you know, it kind of goes for all different types of feelings, and it's like it almost became, you know, a bit of my identity somehow. And so I was kind of latching onto these feelings, interpreting them in lots of different ways, and for me, I now see that wasn't helpful, because again, in doing that, it's like it's not allowing these feelings to pass through us like they're meant to. And so I just really wanted to, you know, share this. And again, you may have heard me talk about this before, but I just think it's such a central part, like feeling our feelings and emotions is such a central part of being a human being, that if we are constantly, you know, running away from those feelings, or we don't know that we can actually feel them and be okay, then I think it just makes it a lot harder, I think, for ourselves. And again, we're not doing this consciously. This is, you know, innocently done a lot of the time. But I feel so strongly now that actually, you know, whatever we might be feeling, it's all part of just being human. And actually, it's a really beautiful part of being human. So like I was listening to, I think it was Dr. Amy Johnson recently, and she was talking about leaning into these feelings without identifying with the thought content that comes with it. And I just really loved that, because it's so simple. It's like we can lean into that feeling, and that might seem really counterintuitive, because it's like, well, why would I want to lean into an uncomfortable feeling? But again, it's just like when we start to see it as energy, as kind of neutral energy, then it seems so much more okay, and we can see that actually, oh yeah, well, these physical sensations that I'm experiencing that I associate with worry, anxiety, even, you know, guilt or whatever it might be, that actually we can allow that energy to be there and to go again, without buying too much into the story that might come with it. Like I was saying about how we maybe, you know, interpret our feelings to mean that we are this kind of person or that kind of person. Like, we don't have to do that. I think once we become aware of, you know, the kind of chatter that might come along with it, and again, we can see that for what it is, and we can know that actually it's not necessarily true. So, and I think like almost detaching those two things, it's either feeling that kind of ball of energy, those physical sensations, and then the chatter that kind of gets stuck on top, and actually starting to maybe separate those out a little bit. And, you know, we don't need to go in and critically analyze either of those. It's just seeing them for what they are, and allowing those feelings to do what they're kind of there to do. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. And again, I think it's such a, you know, starting to explore how we experience our feelings and emotions is such a central part of being human, and can be a really wonderful part of it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, because that's been on my mind recently. But if you have any thoughts or comments, just leave those below, and I'll see you soon.